Fox Business. Major retailer says no to California, pulls zero punches outlining economic reality. Bed Bath & Beyond Executive Chairman Marcus Lemonis, I think that's right, announced on Wednesday that the company won't open or operate retail stores in California, saying the decision isn't about politics, it's about reality. Lemonis said in a statement posted on X that the decision was driven by the fact that the company wouldn't be able to sustain operations in the state due to higher taxes, higher fees, and higher wages, coupled with endless regulations that strangle growth. California has created one of the most overregulated, expensive, and risky environments for businesses in America, Lemonis said, noting that the state's policies created a system that makes it harder to employ people, harder to keep doors open, and harder to deliver value to customers. Lemonis said that the state's budget surpluses come at the expense of ordinary citizens who are paying too much and businesses who are squeezed until they break. Lemonis said the company won't participate in a system that he says undermines both its customers and shareholders. But the company isn't alienating its California customers. Instead, Lemonis said the company is investing in a strategy that will enable Californians to get products from BedBathAndBeyond.com that will be delivered between 24 and 48 hours. In many cases, same-day services will be offered. Lemonis said noting that it will help the company avoid the inflated costs created by an unstable business model. This comes as the ailing company fights its way back to relevance after it collapsed in 2023 from mounting debt and several failed turnaround strategies. Under its parent company, renamed from Beyond Inc. to Bed Bath & Beyond this week, the retailer is returning to brick-and-mortar shops with its first Bed Bath & Beyond opening in Nashville earlier this month. So
theoretically, they should have like brick and mortar stores, right? Like products like that seem like something that you would want to go and actually buy in person.
Well, not only that, like, a lot of people like to be able to go and, hold things like towels or sheets. It's one thing to be like, oh, I want to order things that are not tactile that from Amazon, but
was one of the things listed, did it have to do with crime? Was it like the lack of prosecution for stuff getting stolen? Are they worried about having to like lock up individual towels?
I think this case not so much because they'd been, out of business.
It's just the taxes.
Yeah, it's not just the taxes. It's the cost of hiring people because the minimum wage is extremely high in California. It's probably the cost of regulation. Opening actual brick and mortar stores is not cheap in California. These things add up. And they disincentivize business. California loves to talk about how they're the 9th biggest economy in the world. And this is what one of the guys was saying earlier. The piece is a bit long, so we're not going to listen to it. But California loves to talk about how they're they're the 9th biggest economy in the world. And it's true, but that's because California's got beautiful weather and it's got beautiful land and stuff. Those kind of things only retain people for so long. You have Tesla's left, and that was a big deal because literally one of the politicians was vocally criticizing Musk on the internet, and Musk was like, all right, message received, and just moved out. That's a big business that they lost. That's a lot of people that worked there that had to either moved with Tesla or lost their jobs. And I don't know how many other companies have left California in the past 5 years.
Couldn't even keep Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan left.
And Jamie.
And that's like, I don't know how many people Rogan employs, but it's not that many. But even still, like when you're that wealthy, as wealthy as Rogan is, look, man, you have a lot of leverage with getting around laws that you don't want to deal with or paying fees and stuff. It doesn't really matter. But Rogan, apparently it was too much for Rogan to take. And again, they've lost, I think they lost like 500,000 people over the past few years, which is incredible because if you've been to California, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful on the coast. Some of California is desert like the rest of the Southwest, but still, like it's really beautiful where the people are, the population centers. So it takes significantly bad governance to get people to say, I can't deal with it here.
When you're going to lose a staple like In-N-Out Burger, the headquarters of In-N-Out Burgers that's known for being in California, they're going to move to Nashville or Tennessee. That's a big deal. Also, Phil, to answer your question, 200 companies since 2020 have moved out of California. Chevron, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, Oracle, Charles Schwab, McKinsey, they all moved to Texas.
Yeah.
Like I was saying the other day in 2018 when I was doing recruiting. Yeah, over 200.
Putting any data centers?
I
in
noticed
there?
when I was recruiting, everyone was moving to Texas even like 5 years ago, before 2020.
So can we go back just for a second? But yes, on data centers, Stargate will be in Abilene, Texas. But let's talk about that because they're
No, the
Stargate,
AI center.
the AI center. But let's go back to the fact we are building brick and mortar. Everything old is new again. Old school is finally cool. And what's interesting, I'm raising 3 Gen Zs. Gen Zs love going to the mall. Gen Zs want in person. Gen Zs want tactile. They want to be places in real life. They don't get me wrong. They love convenience. So if they can get something delivered to them when it's convenient, great. But remember, we locked them up for like 10 to 20% of their life during COVID. Some places did, depending on where you lived. I mean, so just a quick story. So I live in North Carolina, but very close to the South Carolina border, and we were going crazy. It's the middle of COVID. Everything's closed in North Carolina. And so I picked up the phone and called a bowling alley in South Carolina about 10 miles from my house, and they picked up on the first ring. And I said, "Oh my gosh, are you open?" She said, "Honey, it's South Carolina, and we never closed."
Nice.
And so we packed up the kids and we went bowling. But anyways, Gen Z loves brick and mortar, loves shopping in person. So it's going to be interesting to see. Look at Starbucks. In-store sales are down. Gen Z says this place is soulless. They're adding people to work in Starbucks. So while we're talking about AI on the one hand, Gen Z is speaking with their wallets and their pocketbooks. Let's go back to Texas, though. Abilene is going to have the big data center going in. I don't think a lot of people realize the energy consumption that AI, cryptocurrency, and eventually quantum is going to be asking for. But we've got some big decisions to make. So as these huge data centers go in, they're bigger than anything we have today. We have to ask ourselves, when it's in your neighborhood, when there's a rolling brownout, who gets the energy? Is it going to be the data center that's now powering really important things? Is it going to be your house? Is it going to be the hospital? Is it going to be the schools? Who's going to get it? So we've got some big questions that have to be answered.
So it'd be like
One of the
data
most-
center, hospital, maybe your house third.
Data center before hospital.
You
Jesus.
can't overstate how important the generating electricity is going to be for the future. And if you look at how much China's done, because you're right about the data centers, AI is incredibly electricity intensive, and China has, I don't know how much they've increased, but they're just eating our lunch, and you can't get permits in the U.S. to turn on a nuclear power plant that will actually be functional before 2032 or something.
Do you know an American nuclear engineer?
No. You know, solar, like I like the idea of solar, and Musk seems to believe in solar. He thinks that he's like, this is the future. That's where it's going to be. But look, your nuclear generation nowadays, nuclear power generation is safe. Coal keeps the AI on. Well, I mean, right now it does over in China, but they're making massive gains in everything. China doesn't have the same kind of restrictions that the United States does.
They don't.
The United States, if China wants to do something, they just do it. It doesn't matter if they have to tear an entire village up and displace 10,000 people or 20,000 people. They don't care. They just do it. This is what the state needs now, and so that's what's going to happen. They've been building nuclear. They're building dams. They're building a dam now that's going to make the Three Gorges Dam look like child's play. The new dam is alleged to be planned to be able to produce enough power to power all of a population the size of Germany, like the whole country from one dam. If the United States doesn't get their S together when it comes to power generation, they're going to lose. Never mind all the stuff you said, because you're totally right about brownouts. Like, does the AI center get the power, or does the hospital that's keeping people on life support get the power, or does your air conditioner get the power? Like, when the brownouts are happening, they're going to have to triage. That's going to happen. That's totally true. But not only that, if the United States isn't making enough power, the United States will lose the AI race. And that is the most important thing going right now. I know there are people that are AI skeptic and that say, oh, AI is not that impressive, or it won't be. I truly believe that they are dead wrong, that this technology is going to not just revolutionize one industry, it's going to revolutionize the world. It's going to be bigger than the internet. It's going to be bigger than the printing press. The change that's going to happen because of AI.
It is. It's the next industrial revolution. And what people have to realize, so today's data centers don't match up to what we need for AI cryptocurrency. So the data centers that are being built, including in Abilene, Texas, as part of the Stargate rollout, they're going to need to be a 5 gigawatt campus. This is the equivalent to the power coming out of 3 nuclear plants.
Real quick question. Tucson, Arizona recently said they rejected unanimously their Project Blue data center, massive data center. So if they're going to keep saying no to the data centers, I mean, it was going to take all their water and kill the whole economy, and it's going to be terrible for them. But where can they put the data centers where they don't kill all the water and make people in the surrounding area, not have water and just live terrible lives?
Look, in 2024, China generated, 10,073 terawatt hours, while the United States generated 4,387 terawatt hours. Now, it's twice as much as the U.S., and granted, China has a lot more people, right? But that doesn't change the fact that they have the capacity, and the United States does not have the capacity, and China is building and investing in ways that the United States just is not. And this is a massive problem. This is something that is going to AI and power generation, like the number of electrons that you can generate, is a massive problem for the United States right now.
But they build cities that are dead. They spend a lot of money.
Oh yeah, they're empty.
You know what I mean? They spend all this money. I guess it's different when you get a data center compared to a construction site and a construction program. They build this huge city that no one lives in, where data center is online and it's actual. You don't need a structural foundation. It's just the cloud.
What was that?
What was that again?
Well, it's not the data center is an actual physical place.
No, I understand, but you're not building a huge city for people that aren't going to live in it. You're building a data center for people to use the cloud, like I said. You know what I mean?
Okay.
There's actually use. Data center has a use, whereas the city of emptiness is just there.
Yes. All right. Okay, I see what you're saying now.
City of emptiness.
Yes, I was born and raised in the city of emptiness.
What city was that?
Hamlin, Pennsylvania.
Anyways,
They're going to put a data center there?
No, there's no data center.
no. All right. Well, back to the situation with Bed Bath & Beyond. The official statement from Marcus Lamont said, "We will not open retail stores in California. This isn't about politics. It's about reality. California's system makes it nearly impossible for businesses to succeed, and I won't put our company, our employees, or our customers in that position. See attachment."
What's annoying about it is it's actually a triumph of capitalism that they can reopen stores and still get products to people in California and find a way around that. But because the left is so anti-business and anti-capitalist by nature that they won't see this as the win that it is, what they'll say is, you should open a business here, lose money on it, and pay us $35,000 an hour. And instead, they're not seeing it for what it is, which is a win for everybody involved, because they're working with with what they've been given, which is crappy regulation, no ability to operate within the state, but still get products to people there.
Look, California's minimum wage is $16.50 an hour.
Okay, not 35,000.
Wow.
You're close enough.
You're close.
But that's the fact of the matter is, like, the amount of people that actually make minimum wage and the length of time that they stay at minimum wage is, like, it's very few people, and it's very, very short. I'm actually let me Google that.
That's a good question. Because $16.50 is not a living wage in California if you're living by yourself. In California in general, you can't live by yourself even if you're making like $80K.
Well, that's why they should be happy that they don't get taxed on tips now.
Yeah.
Only for 4 years. And then we can talk about it later when Trump's out of office and we can have another wedge issue to fight about.
10% of workers.
Yeah, so they don't have an actual number for us, but 10% of workers in the state make no more than the current minimum wage.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that actually is. Let's see. California, approximately 10%.
So it says people make below that. Is that because they're working like commission?
Well, it
Or
would be
waiting tables.
Yeah, people that are working in the service industry, or possibly they might be talking about people that are illegals that are being paid under the table, and they might be throwing them into the estimate, but I don't really know. But even still, like, I'm not sure. Let me see what they say about total.
Just real quick, I know someone recently who went to the service industry, and they're like, what, $2.35 an hour? They had no idea because it's all tips. your income is tips. You get
Right.
$2.35 an hour, and they blew their mind until.
But I think you have to pay babysitters at least $20 an hour if you want a decent babysitter. So I'm trying.
Yeah,
I'm
that
trying
makes sense. Yeah.
So there's about 869,000 hourly workers in the United States that make the federal minimum wage. So that's 1.1% of hourly workers. That is an exceedingly small amount of people that actually make minimum wage. Most people, make considerably more than minimum wage. Even if they're not making a lot of money, most people are making more than minimum wage. So it's the idea that raising the minimum wage is important to a considerable number of the electorate is just wrong.
Well, it's another wedge issue that they focus on during election season because it wouldn't matter anyways with inflation at the rate that it's at now. It's like we've been so past like wages have failed to raise with the rate of inflation for so long that it's almost a moot point.
Yeah.
Because the cost of everything is going up anyways.
And that's why Walgreens and all those guys went out of business in California, because they started doing $20 an hour and they couldn't afford to pay the people.
That and then the fact that people
and the regulations,
stealing and all.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, you go and buy deodorant and it's all locked individually in a case, or you have to go to the front desk and say, or the cashier and say, "I'd like a deodorant. Here's the."
I just want to smell clean. That's all I want to do is smell clean. But no, I got to go through the whole process.
Yeah. So I mean, California, and not only that, but when the police won't enforce laws against shoplifting, that's what happens. It's essentially telling people it's okay. Why wouldn't you? What's going to stop you if the police won't actually enforce the law?
Mm-hmm. It's all Cloward Piven stuff. Like they just destabilize and knock it all down, and then when they're greeted as liberators when they come to inevitably, we'll instate our laws and our order and everything like that, but it's not really working because we're the ones instituting the law and order. So it kind of backfired for them, I think.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.